people leave, managers, they leave organizations where the leadership is toxic. Is that the only solution that employees have today if they're being supervised by a toxic leader? Is that the only thing that you can potentially do? Is speaking to your manager and letting them know that, hey, you're being an asshole, or you're creating a toxic work environment for me or something, a real solution? Or should people just look for a different job?
Yeah, no. And actually, there's a huge movement of rebellion where people are saying, whoop, nope. I experienced it. I experienced it in my 20s when I got out of the Navy, and I'm being managed and led by people who learned how to manage and lead in the 70s and in the 80s. And so you can imagine the horrible dysfunction, the bigotry, the racism, the sexism, the ageism that was going on when I entered the workforce after I left the Navy. And I want to take credit for being part of that first generation and that first wave that said, whoa, you can't talk like that, right? And we did that in a very open environment. And it's like, what are you talking about? One, you can't curse at me like that. Two, don't you ever get in your face and like bully me and spit in my face and yell at me. This is a professional environment. We don't do that. Now, granted, I was blessed to be in the nuclear power industry where we had federal agencies like the NRC who were specifically measuring and auditing and paying attention to chilled work environments. But that's basically what we're talking about. We're talking about forms of intimidation and bullying to get people to do what we're doing, which is leading by fear. The landscape has changed quite a bit, and we do have a lot more options than just take it or leave it. Right, which is kind of what we're talking about. In the past, it was take it or leave it. I can't think of any company except a very, very, very small privately owned company somewhere that doesn't have an employee assistance program, that doesn't have and this is tricky. HR is really tricky because, yeah, they're there for us, but let's not kid ourselves. You know, the CEO still pays their salary. They still are acting in the best interest of the company, not necessarily the best interest of the individual. But there are ways to do that. What I suggest, though, is if you want to be a professional, don't be passive aggressive about it. Don't just immediately turn to social media. Every organization has great people. Every organization has great people. Find a great person in that organization who will empathize with you, who would be a mentor. Ask for help. Hey, in this very, very specific environment, is there a way for me to navigate this? How do I do this? That's an option. If you don't have that, you can go outside that company and still look for a mentor to say, hey, Dad, hey, Uncle Charles, you will not believe this guy that I'm having to deal with, right?